right?
Really?
A little bit. Welcome to Doctrine and Devotion, a podcast that explores Christian faith and practice from a Reformed Baptist perspective. My name is Joe Thorne. I'm the lead pastor of Redeemer Fellowship in St. Charles, Illinois.
And I'm Jimmy Fowler, executive pastor.
Okay, let me tell you what's bothering me, Jimmy.
Here we go. Here we go.
Okay, Jimmy, if I go to McDonald's and I'm going to get a drink, what do I ask for?
A Diet Coke.
Not anymore.
Oh, now it's iced coffee.
That's right.
Yeah.
I get an iced coffee. Now, here's what I do. If you order an iced coffee from McDonald's, it's not like a real coffee shop. If you say iced coffee, you get an iced coffee with cream and sugar, right? And that's how their iced coffee comes. If you're a coffee shop, you get black iced coffee, right?
Yes.
That's what you get. So, and they use liquid sugar. They don't use granular sugar.
Yeah. So that mixes better or whatever.
Yeah, it's gross. So anyway, here's what I order every time. I pull up, I go, hey, give me an iced coffee, no liquid sugar. And then it pops up on the screen. They go, oh, okay, large iced coffee, no liquid sugar. And it says no liquid sugar. It is assumed cream's going to go in there, right? That's just because that's how they do it. And then sometimes they'll say, oh, just cream only, just to verify. I'm like, yes, ma'am, cream only. And there's a set number that they put in that. Unlike with hot coffee, they'll ask you how many creams you want.
Yeah. Oh, at McDonald's.
Yeah,
Okay.
McDonald's. Yeah.
Yeah.
So then I pull around and I pay, and they're all like, because I'm there every day. And then I pull up to the second window, and they go, okay, here is your iced coffee. Now I know that I have to first. You know what I'm going to do? Put my straw in,
and you're going to stare at the
I'm
individual.
going to taste it, make eye contact to make sure, just like I used to do with my Diet Coke. Because if it's regular Coke, I'm not going to take it.
Mm-hmm.
So I taste it, and it has got a bunch of liquid sugar in this thing. Okay. So I go, excuse me, I'm sorry. This was supposed to be no liquid sugar. And they go, oh, okay. And so I tried to give it back to her. She turned away and went back in. And I'm like, oh, okay. So I'm hanging on to it. And then she comes back with my other diet, what is it, iced coffee.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay. So then I tried to swap hands and give her this thing. And she goes, oh, we can't take that. I'm like, what are you talking about? You can't take my, you gave me the wrong drink and I'm giving it back to you. She's like, no, we can't take it because of COVID. So I'm like, do you have a drive-up garbage can or something? She's like, no, but there's a garbage can over there in the corner of the lot. You can go over there and throw it away there. And I just kind of look at her like, are you crazy? Take back, you made the wrong drink. Yeah. Take the drink back. I didn't yell. I just kind of looked at her like, I don't understand. She goes, okay, I'll take it. But now I'm more annoyed because you just said the policy is you can't take it back, but now you're going to go ahead and break the policy and take it back. Whole thing was a very traumatic experience for me, Jimmy. Oh, okay. I got it off my chest. I haven't talked about it, so.
Yeah.
Oh, what happened? You get a notification?
I did.
What was your notification?
Just on a TikTok person I follow. They posted a new video.
Is it a food-related video?
Yes.
Is it a famous chef?
Nope.
Okay.
Nope.
All right. Jimmy is a great cook, and I'm serious, and I mean that, dude, bro.
I hate you.
No, I'm not being sarcastic.
No, you're being sarcastic.
I am not being sarcastic. I 100% am not being sarcastic. I am telling you, you are a very good cook.
Well, I appreciate
your
it.
food is awesome, and it looks beautiful. And by the way, even if I hadn't tasted it, I would have to conclude that you are based on your Instagram glamour shots that you put up of your food because it looks amazing.
They're not glamour shots.
They are glamour shots. Oh my gosh.
I'm just that good.
They are the equivalent of 80s glamour shots of girls.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah,
no, it is not.
Yeah,
I
definitely.
am just that good.
You're a very good cook. All right, what do you got over there? What's going on?
Nothing. I'm just here.
Well, you were turning your whole iPad sideways and looking at pictures and stuff. I
wasn't looking at pictures. What I wanted to see. So I have a new case.
Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Okay. So I have a new case. Because
this is Jimmy's fourth case, by the way.
No, stop it. Because what I like, I wanted different angles because I do a lot of things, right?
Right.
And the keyboard comes on and off.
Mm-hmm. I know you like that.
What I wanted to see, and it gives protection.
Mm-hmm. Safety first.
This is the Logitech combo keyboard, just for
those good to know. Yep.
I was like, with this stand, would it stand like this?
Yeah, and it does. Clearly does.
But you get no viewing angle.
Yeah, it's a little bit straight.
Yeah, so that was all. It dawned on me. Can I look at that real fast?
Okay,
that was it.
I like it. And until they come up with a gray or black Apple Pencil, I don't care.
No, they were supposed to.
I know.
They were supposed to come out with a black one.
I want a matte black.
It was supposed to be matte black.
Oh, that'd be so.
It was supposed to be matte black.
I could afford the pencil. That's about all I could get.
So you're just gonna get the pencil?
I'd get the pencil just to kind of like show people, like, hey. Oh, you got the iPad? Well, I got the pencil.
No, I you know me. I use this for everything.
You use it for everything. You use it for sermon notes. You use it for some work stuff.
All work stuff.
And you use it for consuming, appreciating, digesting movies, TV shows.
And TikToks.
I love my TikToks.
Yeah.
Remember when you were like, I don't do TikTok, don't know what I'm talking about?
No, that's exactly what happened.
Yeah, that's how everybody starts who's an adult. And then you figure out like, there's great content on here.
So here's the thing. You would send like you would send me TikToks and I'd be like, oh, well, I'm going to look at it. He sent it. As much as you think I know.
No, I know. You just don't respond.
I just don't respond. Yeah. But I'll go and I'll look. But hold on. If it's funny, I'm like, ha, ha, ha. And then I learned like, swipe up.
There's more.
And I'm like, there's another one. What's this one about? Ha, ha. Swipe up. That's pretty good too.
Yeah. And it begins to read what you like, and it knows what you like. It gives you more of what you like.
No, I think I told you, I just said it to Job like 4 months ago. I don't know if you remember this, but I was like,
I remember everything. Go ahead.
Okay. No, you don't.
I remember everything. You don't. Steel trap, elephant, go.
But 4 months ago or so, I was like,
it was 3.5, go.
I was like, it might actually been. I was like, man, TikTok, I don't know. It's either A, TikTok knows me, or B, there's a lot of African-American conservatives out there. Because all of a sudden, my For You page is getting spammed with African-American conservatives. And I mean, I'm on TikTok for this. And
it's great stuff. No, because it actually measures how long you linger on one TikTok versus another, how fast you swipe, do you like it, all that stuff. It measures everything. And so, I get tons of, not only do I get tons, honestly, yes.
So you get a lot of Confederate flags?
Nope. But I get a lot of minority conservatives.
Yep.
I actually get a lot of dog stuff, like cute dog stuff, because I like the dog stuff. I get a lot of comedy. And honestly, not like some professional comedians, but just people that are ridiculously funny. Like there are some really creative, funny people on TikTok. And so, man, I'll spend some time on the TikTok.
And I, every night, we'll watch TikTok. We'll do TikToks together. Like, so I'll have my iPad so we can both, because it's a little bit easier when, I mean, sometimes I tell her, iPad's dead. So you just got to cuddle closer. And then
it's
I was
nice.
like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, because then the TikTok is a prequel.
TikTok and chill?
Yeah, that's right.
TikTok
and rock. Yeah.
That's better.
Yeah,
that's better.
It's more appropriate.
And so we'll sit there, we'll go through for like 20 minutes, and then we'll go to bed. But it's funny. We have fun.
Yeah, I love it. It's good stuff.
And then it also gets me in trouble because sometimes I might linger on one just to see how it ends.
Yeah.
And Michelle's like, nope.
Yeah. Which is cool because like legit, like I don't get like hardly any girly stuff on mine because it knows what you like. It's like it's giving me all this other stuff. So I'll tell you what I get. I get funny stuff.
Yep.
And that's on my For You page. These are not even things that people I'm following. It just kind of knows.
Yes. And then I follow.
So then you can go to your following page, which is where I spend a lot of my time.
Yeah.
But then I'll go to my For You page to find new things. Gotcha. So my For You page is mostly, it's a lot of like crime talks. It'll be like good cops and bad cops, but there's confrontations, right? So there's all kinds of that. There's definitely like bad neighbors. I get a lot of horrible neighbor stuff where the people are like fighting with their neighbors. And then I get dogs and humor and then conservative stuff. Yeah. It's fun. Well, anyways, what we wanted to talk about today is this whole idea of how to digest the culture.
Yeah.
Right. Because, there's a lot of people that, most Christians, I think, are at least asking the question, what should I consume culturally and what should I say no to? Like, and how do I know what's okay to listen to and what's okay and what's more appropriate to say, like, no, I'm not going to listen to this. It was, how my brain works, so you'll understand this.
Here we go.
Listeners are going to be like, why would you say this? Because this is how my brain works. There was, I was talking to a family today at church, and they go, oh, well, this is a cousin of ours. She is from Copenhagen. And I was like, she's from Denmark. And I was like, sweet. Denmark.
Ready? Here's my favorite Swedish death metal
Okay,
band.
first of all, that's not Sweden. Okay.
I know, but I know how your brain works. You didn't know that.
No, of course I did.
No, you didn't.
All my metal bands are from Norway. It's from Scandinavia. I know all those countries.
You're just sitting there
I speak all those languages.
You're like, Denmark. It's close. That's close enough.
Okay, so she said, I said, where are you from? In Denmark. And she goes, oh, Copenhagen. And I was like, wow, Copenhagen. You know, King Diamond is from Copenhagen. And they're like looking at me like, well, King Diamond is this like satanic musician that I used to listen to back in the day. And then I went into this whole each of his albums are like horror stories that he writes. And they're not satanic, but he's satanic. And, I don't listen to him anymore. But so, yeah, I'm a terrible pastor. I don't know
and they're never coming back.
Well, thankfully, she was going back to Copenhagen tomorrow. So I don't have to embarrass myself again with how my ADD
Except that,
takes me.
she's going home.
She ain't going to remember me.
No. She's going to be giving a report. You don't know how this works?
Yeah, I know exactly how it works.
Well, how does it work?
I wasn't even, like, I'm a nobody. They're not gonna
No.
Yeah.
She's going to be giving a report. Joe, she's going to go back. The church is going to bring her up.
No, it wasn't a church thing. There's no churches in Copenhagen.
They're going to say, sister, how was your time?
All they have are atheist temples.
They're going to say, sister, how was your time in America? Give us a report on the state of the church. And so she's going to say, yeah, I believe the church is doing well. And then I went to Redeemer Fellowship, where the pastor...
A Satanist, apparently. Who worships King Diamond.
This is the state of the church in America is going to be all based on you. So,
I thought she would know King Diamond. I thought she would know. Copenhagen's like the size of St. Charles.
They sent her to find out.
I was like, oh, Copenhagen's a tiny place. She's got to know King Diamond. Nope.
All
right.
Anyways,
okay, so let's just talk about some general principles, right?
Yep.
Because like we'll get people asking us like, hey man, I know Joe listens to heavy metal.
Yeah.
And it's like, but he listens to like Iron Maiden or Anthrax or Metallica or Megadeth or whatever. And so, or like more modern bands like, goodness. I would say most
T Swift.
Okay, I actually do like some Taylor Swift.
Yes, I knew it.
Yeah, I like some Billie Eilish.
What, really?
Oh yeah, they're super talented, super talented. But when it comes to what do you got?
Kid Laroi.
I don't know who that is.
I am ashamed that I do.
No, okay. Well, you shouldn't be. I never apologize for what I like.
I have seen on TikTok that there's a number of TikToks that with his song.
Yeah, there's some good music on TikTok, man. Like it's actually introduced me to
Bieber.
Yeah, of course you like it.
No, I don't like it.
Of course, you love it.
There's a lot of TikToks with their music.
Okay, here's the thing. By the way, Insomnium, one of my favorite metal bands that's more current. Okay, so people were like, well, so how do you justify listening to that when you know that they aren't Christian? Like, it's secular, it's worldly, and all of that. So what we need to discuss, I think, is what are some helpful ways to digest culture? And the reason we talk about it that way is because most people, I think, fall into the process of merely consuming our culture. It's like, oh, I'm a consumer. I just want, like, I like, me like, and there's not much digestion going on. And by digestion, what I mean is the thoughtful analysis, breakdown, and understanding of particular forms of art or culture that we may be engaging in. And I think that some people, when we start talking like this, are like, man, I just want to watch a movie. I just want to watch my horrible Avengers movie or a super lame Lord of the Rings movie. And I don't want to have to... I know, I triggered everybody. I was just, guys, that's a whole nother... We'll get into that in another episode. All right, so what I would say is you can actually enjoy pop culture and aspects of culture and movies and books while staying engaged and thinking critically about it. It doesn't have to be a laborious exercise.
No.
So when you're reading a book, let's say I'm going to read this novel or I'm going to read this self-help book. Nothing wrong with a self-help book, by the way. Just because it's called self-help doesn't mean it's going to deny Jesus in your life if you read it. If you read a book, you do need to read it with an awareness of, okay, this is coming from the world and it's going to have principles, ideas, precepts.
And even priorities.
Yep.
That are going to be different
than
we for us as believers, right? And I mean, even the title, like a self-help, even though there's stuff you can glean, you still have to recognize in some of these books, right? Like the focus and the emphasis is on you yourself working some things out.
Right.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
Right.
You should take stock as an individual on your strengths and your weaknesses and recognize it and move forward.
There are things that you can control in your life.
But at the same time, as believers though, see, they only have part of the story.
Right.
We also understand it's by the grace and strength of God
Mhm.
and the Spirit of God
Yep.
that enables us to be able to do certain things.
Yes.
And so we then are still able to work hard, take stock, and yet give glory to God in the midst of it.
Yeah.
Rather than glory to ourselves. That's the problem. Too many of these people, and even I do consume some, especially on Instagram, where I watch these individuals and they profess at times to somehow have faith. I don't really see the fruit of it,
Right.
but I do see the value in some of the other aspects of what they're talking about, right? And so I recognize and I go, well, that person's really glorifying themselves with this, where I recognize that if God is moving in that way, it's to his glory, not mine.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's kind of gets to the whole thing is like, you have to think like a believer.
Yeah.
You got to think like a biblically minded Christian, which means that on the one hand, you've got to be pressing into the word on the regular. You got to be a good theologian, or let me put it this way. You've got to be an improving theologian. That might be a better way to think about it.
I like that.
Because
explain the difference, because that's a subtle difference there.
When you and I think of a
key.
good theologian, we'll think like, oh, like R.C. Sproul. Well, who's dead and he's a perfect theologian now, I guess. What we think about the bigwigs, like that's a good theologian. Yeah. Burkhoff, good theologian.
I would even say great.
Jim Renahan.
Great theologian.
Beast mode theologian.
OG.
Yeah. So, and we think, well, I'm not a good theologian. Okay. But we can all be improving theologians. Yeah. And that means that, the knowledge of God, personally experienced and publicly expressed is of value to us. So we're reading the word and we're discussing it with our friends. We're doing all of that work. And so if you're not an improving theologian, you're going to have a hard time digesting culture because you have to use the scripture and the knowledge of God as a matrix through which you're able to parse all of the things that you're looking at. So listen, when you watch a movie, you can actually begin to break down as you're watching, and the more you do it, honestly, the easier that it is. But you can begin to break down is there a message here?
Yeah.
Sometimes there is a very clear agenda and message that a particular movie has. Sometimes there is not. Let me give you an example. Back in the day, Clint Eastwood, whom I love, Clint Eastwood put together $1 Million Baby.
Mm.
Now, this is about a boxing coach, Clint Eastwood, who finally starts coaching this female boxer. And so, by the way, it's an old movie, so spoiler alert, you can deal with it. So he finally regretfully says, okay, I'll coach you. And he coaches her, and she's good.
Mm.
And he becomes a father figure to her because her family's a total train wreck. And his relationship with his daughter's broken. So they become like father-daughter. It's beautiful. And then she basically gets pushed or sucker punched by an opponent in the ring before her stool gets pulled out, and she falls and she gets paralyzed by hitting her neck on that thing. And so now she's paralyzed and she has no hope of ever moving again. And she asks her father figure, Clint, to kill her. Mm-hmm. Basically in the hospital, let me die. Pull the plug, suffocate me, whatever, it's got to be done. And he does it. Now, Al Mohler, and we love Al Mohler. Al, we like you, we love you, respect you. But you, and maybe Russ, but I remember you talking about it. Maybe it was either you or Russ, but I think it was you. You guys were arguing like this is a pro-death, like pro-euthanasia film. It's a culture. It contributes to the culture of death and blah blah blah. I think any thoughtful analysis of the film does not draw that conclusion because his life is over. When he does that, he's devastated. He has no idea if he made a wrong decision or a right decision. He's ruined. And it ends with no redemption, which some of his, like Mystic River, same thing, ends in the same way. By the way, when Lord of the Rings finally won an Oscar, they were taking it away from Mystic River, which actually deserved it. But whatever. That's a whole nother. So, but the point being is like, I think there's a way to watch that movie and see the beauty in it and see the humanity in it and still go, what he did was wrong. But I don't think that movie had a message of pro-euthanasia. It was more of like, what do you do?
Yeah.
Like that's what it is. Now, some movies do have a clear message and agenda.
No, and I think that's where like being a critical thinker is important, because if you don't see the message, like I think this is where indoctrination comes into play with our children.
Yeah, totally.
Because at that point they're not critically thinking and they're receiving culture And culture is giving them a message through
Oh yeah,
this
everything.
medium.
Oh, every
And as
medium.
a critical thinker, you need to recognize that so that one, you're not succumbing to it.
Yep.
And two, you're able to protect your family from it.
Right.
Right. And so there's movies Michelle and I watch, and I'll come out of it going like, that was, I enjoyed the movie, but the message of X, Y, and Z.
Yeah. Z. You're American.
X, Y, and Z.
There you go.
I can't get behind. And
Yeah.
I thought it was very forced, or it was this. It should be like, I'm not going to talk about Michelle and I going through because she doesn't think critically. Like, so she enters into it, and it's not wrong. Where she's just like, oh, it's time to relax and just unplug and go.
Right.
Where for me, I'm like, I could see like the storylines, I could see the things developing, and I see the story unfolding, and I don't want this message, you know.
And there are some movies that are just candy. There is really nothing there,
There's
right?
nothing
and
there.
that's fine. And those
Listen,
are
there
easy.
is nothing to Harold and Kumar go to White Castle. There's nothing there.
But the bottom. But I think what we have to get to is like every movie, right? Whether I mean, I've actually had the opportunity to go on a couple of podcasts and talk about specific movies. Usually, they want me to come on and talk about horror movies. To talk about like the good that's in those movies that we can actually begin to understand. Sometimes a movie might be made by a person who isn't a Christian and has no Christian ideology, and yet the movie or the story or the book, if one is written, can sometimes highlight ideas and issues that are extremely important, or doctrines that are actually really important to us. And they might not even know that they're highlighting those issues. But you've got to think about it so that you can properly understand, like, what's the message? Because here's the thing. I can listen to a song or watch a movie or read a book, and there are going to be elements of those art forms that I'm going to disagree with. And that is okay.
That's fine.
And there's going to be elements of it where I'm like, wow, there's overlap there between their worldview and mine. Like a lot of the music that I listen to, in fact, most of the metal that I listen to is a bit more abstract. They sing about death and loss and life, or they sing about history, which is not abstract, but they sing about things that like aren't troubling for me at all, and I find it very interesting. And even then, like there's a band, they sing a song about this religious sect, this Christian religious sect, who are ascetics. Okay, so they're basically whipping themselves and torturing themselves to get closer to God. Now, that's an actual thing. Like there are sub-Christian sects that have done that, both in the Catholic Church and in the Protestant Church. So they're singing about this, and they're singing it from the perspective of those people, but they're clearly not for it. They're against it. But so am I.
Yeah.
I'm against it too. They're not wrong.
Yeah.
So like there's a lot of ways in which we overlap. So a couple of things to think about, I think, when we're talking about like how do we digest culture. Number one, try to figure out like where is this coming from? Like, do you know who put it together? Do you have any information on the author? That's a good thing to know. And as you're watching the story, as you're listening to the song, hey, listen, check out the lyrics. Not a bad thing to do. Follow the line of thought, because sometimes you're going to find beautiful, amazing things, and sometimes you're going to find troubling things. But just because something is troubling doesn't mean it's not worth your time.
No, and I love that you said that about the music, how music plays a part.
Yeah.
In the midst of the storytelling.
Oh
right?
yeah.
Like that's why it's important. Like when you go to a play or an opera or anything like that, right? Like.
When Jimmy goes to the opera.
Okay, stop. Just stop.
I'm so glad you mentioned the opera.
Like you listen at the beginning, right? Because there's going to be this theme that goes throughout, and you're going to find it, right? It's almost like a paper where you read the thesis, and now the thesis is going to be unfolded throughout, right?
Yeah, totally.
Speaking of music, that's one of the things I missed on Tuesday's episode. My disagreements with, or my concerns with.
Oh goodness,
you going to talk about
you
this
are
one?
so wrong on this one.
No, I'm not.
I'll explain it. Go ahead.
No. Wait, no. All right. Remember how when we were all, can I say it in front of everybody?
Absolutely.
Right. How we're with Founders.
Founders put out a preview, a trailer for their documentary.
Yeah, and Rachel Denhollander, right? And so she, her silhouette's there, and then the music was very ominous.
Right.
Very ominous.
Yeah.
And it was very much like it was very much like
she's bad.
Evil. And now again, they took that out for obvious reasons.
Yeah.
So throughout like the Mars Hill, the podcast with Cosper
Mm-hmm.
is doing, just notice when they start talking about Driscoll, that same sort of music.
Yeah, if he starts saying something like spooky or whatever, they play
not
spooky
even
music.
spooky, just he says something.
Not just anything. They do it when there's something
You don't
ominous
remember.
being said.
Yeah.
No, I do.
No,
and here's the thing. And here's why you're wrong.
Why am I wrong?
Because there's nothing wrong with supporting the production by putting like music that is appropriate to what you want to convey. The problem with the Founders thing was that she was saying something good. She was a good person saying something good, and they played ominous music to make her look bad. Whereas in this case,
I don't think. Well, that's why I wanted him on to be able to talk about that.
But clearly, but in this place, Driscoll is saying things that are wrong. They are bad, and so they play some ominous music to go with it, which makes sense.
I have to go back and listen to that. But I mean, he says a lot of bad things. Like, I can't. Of course, they're going to cherry pick that, right? Because it's
not cherry picking. That's the whole point.
No, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. They're cherry picking.
It's not cherry picking.
It's cherry. Yeah, it is.
Okay.
From his years of preaching, they're picking certain things because it's enforcing the story that they're telling.
Okay, that's not that. Cherry picking is suppressing some evidence and then highlighting others to prove your point, which might not be valid. So it's not cherry picking.
Well, we'll see at the end if they pick out and share some of the great things he said to the glory of God.
Listen, those of us who know the story of Driscoll, like they're not cherry picking. They're saying like these are things that he did and said. These are well known in the story. It's not cherry picking.
I know, but you said he's suppressing. I'm not saying they're suppressing.
But that's what cherry picking means.
All right, fine. Then
just saying you're using the wrong analogy.
Okay, they're selecting.
Yeah, they're choosing like his famous awful things that he said that are well known and established, and they play spooky music with it. Because
spooky?
Well, whatever. They play ominous. The dark, foreboding.
Maybe foreboding.
Yeah.
That's probably the best word.
Yeah,
that's the best word.
Yeah, use foreboding music with it, like dramatic music.
Okay.
But dramatic music because what he's saying is dramatic and wrong. What Rachel Denhollander is saying was good and appropriate.
Oh, I mean, I'm not gonna.
Can't hate on Rachel. Can't hate on Rachel.
Huh?
Can't hate on Rachel.
No.
Even if she was wrong, you still can't hate on her. She's too serious.
You went too far.
No,
there.
man.
You went too far
even
there.
if she's wrong,
Nope.
I'm afraid of her because she looks like intense.
Oh my gosh.
No, she's Reformed Baptist, dude. Like legit Reformed Baptist. She goes to a Reformed Baptist church.
Why are you going too far?
Oh man, I know. Like her husband, I think he plays hockey, but I think she might be able to take him. She's a lawyer and she was a gymnast. Yeah, I'll fight the hockey player with no teeth any day.
with no teeth.
Oh, if he's a hockey player, he has no teeth.
Well, no,
come on.
I mean, that just shows he can take a punch.
True.
And you're not giving a good one.
Yeah, I give a good punch.
You don't give.
I give a good punch. I know how to punch. Everybody, listen. Okay, and by the way, I'm missing some teeth too. Hey, so are you. You never got that fixed, did you?
Never.
Okay, so here's the thing.
All right, go. Sorry.
Develop your mind.
Yes.
Think biblically. Don't be afraid. But listen, obviously follow your conscience. Listen, if there's something that you like, listen, you don't like movie with like excessive violence, then don't watch it. I only watch movies with excessive violence. No, that's not true.
No, that's not true. But there's certain movies. Like I love Denzel Washington.
The Denzel.
I love the Denzel. I have watched nearly every movie he's done.
What haven't you watched?
Book of Eli.
Why?
Because of a scene at the beginning.
Oh, is there a naughty scene?
Well, it's like I can't deal with children or women being.
Oh yeah, no, dude, I couldn't.
Yeah.
No.
Michelle and I we're sitting there, and it begins.
Okay.
And I see what's going on. I'm like, I'm out, Michelle.
You know the problem with that movie. You know what the movie's about, right?
You
know what the book is.
I've had to go. What do you mean the book? The Bible. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a Braille Bible.
Yeah, no,
because he's blind.
No, I had to go read. The summary of the.
You know what the problem is?
What's that?
Is that a Braille Bible is like 10 volumes. You can't hold a Braille Bible in your hand and have the whole Bible. It doesn't work that way. Braille is like this long form thing. It's like massive. So the movie's okay. They totally screwed that up.
But go with your conscience.
Go with your conscience.
Go with your conscience.
Bible, conscience. Be careful. Think it. Don't just be a consumer. And I don't know. Figure out some stuff on your own.
Well, we'd love to hear your thoughts. You can follow us online on Instagram and Twitter @DocAndDevo or on Facebook /Doctrine and Devotion. You can head to the website, doctrinedevotion.com. There you can contact us. You can sign up for the email blast. You can hit the store, jofostore.com, and grab some
have
gear.
fun on your vacation.
We got fresh pod every Monday and Thursday. Blog posts and video content over at the website.
Can't wait to see the couples photos with you and the Earls.
We got that all-access exclusive content. You got Banter of Truth on Tuesdays, Weekday Wisdom Monday through Friday. Head on over.
No Jimmy on those.
To doctrinedevotion.com /all-access to sign up today. Later.